Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read a lot of books, mainly library books, and welcome to my vlog, my reading vlog. This is a thing now, or maybe it will be a thing, I don't know, but it's fun. I enjoy it, so it's gonna be a thing for a while. So we'll see how many reading updates I do versus reading vlogs this month, but yeah, so I thought I was gonna start my vlog, a new vlog today, since I'm about to read a little. So it is now Saturday the 14th of June, and today I am sitting and actually doing some editing and yeah, editing some videos, because I have 4 videos that I have filmed during like late May, no, during the beginning of June, but I haven't edited and I haven't finished, so I haven't published them. So there will be some videos popping up like in a couple of days, like backlog videos. And that's fine, that's okay, sometimes life happens, and I'm just happy I have been reading and I have been enjoying life a little bit, so that's important. And yeah, so I just finished my first reading vlog yesterday, and I have edited it, and I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out what order I should publish my videos that I have made previously. And then I'm gonna have a workout, and then I'm gonna go to the store and buy some picnic food. And later this afternoon I have a birthday picnic, because my birthday was in May, but it was too cold in May, and I do enjoy a picnic. So there's gonna be some people coming, and we're gonna have a picnic. Everyone brings whatever they want to bring, so it's not a potluck, it's more of a bring your own. And we're also having like garden games, so me and my partner are bringing garden Yahtzee, and I'm going down to the basement later to see if we have another game, because I do think we have a game called Cub, which is basically a game with like wooden blocks that you put up in a specific order, and then you use another block to knock them down, like almost like bowling, but not. And then there's 2 teams. Yeah, it's a big thing in Sweden. We even have a championship of it. So and I also think we have something called plockepinn. I don't know the English word for it, but it's like sticks. So the normal game are like small sticks in different colors that have different points attached to them, and then you have one specific stick that you can use to pick the other. So it's to pick the others and to gain points. And if one of the sticks already on the table moves while you do this, then the next person is in line and you go all around. So there's a lot of people that can be involved. And I think we have a garden variety of that in our basement. I hope we do. I have a memory of having it, but it might also be so that my dad has it, and in worst case scenario I left it in the cottage before selling the cottage. I'm gonna talk about this one. So this is my current read. I started it late last night, but I didn't have time to do this. So I started this yesterday, but I only got like through the prologue and the 2 chapters in. So that's where I'm at. So this is Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent. And I really love Carissa Broadbent's Crowns of Nyaxia duology and world. It's a world now. There are like 4 or 5 books set in the same world, and Crowns of Nyaxia are the duology. I really enjoy that. I've read both those, and I read Six Scorched Roses, and I have one other book at home, and I'm waiting for another book, or I'm waiting to have the funds to get the last book. So yeah, and in the meantime I found out that the library had this one, and this is actually like indie published, so it's not always that the library has it, but they have this one and they have the second one, so I'm very happy. So this is the first book in, I don't know what the series are called. The War of Lost Hearts, Volume 1. It says so right here. So, a life is. I'm gonna read the back, and then I might have something to add. A life in slavery taught Tisana how to survive with nothing but a sharp eye, a quick mind, and a touch of magic. But the night she tried to buy her freedom, she nearly paid with her life. Instead, she murdered the most powerful man in Thrall. Forced to flee, she has only one chance at saving those she left behind, pledging herself to the Orders, an organization of magic wielders strong enough to destroy her former masters. To earn her place, Tisana is forced into an apprenticeship with Maxantarius Farioni, a handsome and reclusive fire wielder who despises the Orders. He has no interest in helping her, but as the Order's grip tightens around them both, his bloody past might be the key to her future, or their downfall. Under looming war, Tisana must master her magic and survive the Order's demands, and as her feelings for Maxantarius deepen, she is forced to decide how much she is willing to trade away for revenge. The Orders have bigger plans for Tisana, darker plans, but Tisana will stop at nothing to save those she abandoned. Even if it means forfeiting her freedom and sacrificing her heart, even if it means wielding death itself. So yeah, this is slavers and slavery, and in the beginning of the book, we see her, just like the first in the prologue. We get to see like how this began for her. So in the world there are slave owners and slaves, and the slave owners are called slavers. So I have just gotten to know her background story, Tisana, and where she is being brought when this begins for her. So I'm just in the beginning of it, really. So I'm looking forward to this. I did not know it was 520 pages. So I was a bit intimidated by that, because I do feel like I'm in the mood for shorter reads right now. But I do enjoy this so far. I'm literally 24 pages in. So I think I will definitely read all of it. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. And the girl on the cover actually has something to do with the inside, and I enjoy that. If there's gonna be people on the cover, I want them to be painted, not photographed, and I want them to have something to do with the story. So it should resonate with the story. So yeah, I'm looking forward to dive deeper into this, and I will talk to you again when I've read 100 pages or something like that. It's 500 pages long, so maybe 150 pages. When I feel I've really gotten into the book, I will talk to you again. Okay, so it is now the next day, and I intended to do this update outside, but there are far too many people and noise, and yeah, there's just no room for me. And yesterday we had my birthday picnic, and I worked out before the birthday picnic, and then we walked to the area, and then we were there for like 3 hours, and then I walked home, and on the way home I started feeling really fatigued in my legs, like why did I walk home? Why didn't we accept the offer from my cousin to get a ride? And today I'm just so knackered, I'm just so tired and in need of some rest, so I didn't fancy walking somewhere just to get away from people to give you this update, or even worse, riding my bike because my legs are sore. So here I am in in my bedroom again, and you can see the light of day streaming in from under this is like a curtain that's supposed to make it completely dark for sleeping at night, which we need during the summer. So yeah, it's not the best environment to do a reading update. I would have wished I could be outside, but I'm just gonna give myself some grace and rest. And yeah, so I am here with this book again, Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, the first book in the War of Lost Hearts series. So I have now read about 100 and I am on the page 108. So out of 520, so I think I'm just about 20% in. And what do I think? Okay, so I enjoy the writing style, as I always do. So Carissa Broadbent's writing style is really my cup of tea, you can say. So I do enjoy that. I have found myself having to reread some sentences now and again because I don't know, I've just lost focus, and I don't know if it's a focus / concentration issue or if it's something about maybe the pacing of the story. I think reading more will tell me, so I'm not bored with it. I am intrigued, and we are following the female main character Tisana, as she has left her previous slavery and she has reached the destination that she intended, but it's not really going the way she wants it to go. And I can relate somewhat to her in like wanting things to happen now, moving on now, please help me now. And then not really getting that, having to deal with people that have their own schedule, their own things going on, and she is a bit naive, but it's also understandable because she's young, she's 21, and she has been a slave since she was an early teen, a young teen, and she doesn't really have that much knowledge about the world and many things at all, actually. And she is she's kind of cute in the way that she thinks that she can do anything, and she can learn anything as long as they tell her what she needs to do, she can fix it. She's she's young and naive, and she has like her ambitions and her hopes are up here, and the skills that she needs to complete it are up here, but the skills that she has are down here, but she thinks she's up here. And it's just yeah, I think it's quite along the line of her developmental history and her life so far and where she's at in life overall. We have also met who I think is supposed to be the main male character in this, and he is interesting as well. They do have some commonalities. Both are, in my opinion, both are people that, you know, do anything 100%. They don't do it halfway or half-hearted. So as long as they can get along, I think it's gonna go great. And I'm looking forward to seeing where their relationship goes from here. It's a mentor-mentee situation, and I don't really know the age difference, but she's 21, so if there's any kind of romance, it's somewhat fine with me. Since she's a little bit naive and young at heart and mind, or at least in her mind, because of her life history. In a way, I think I don't know really what to think about it. I need to get to know her a little bit more, but you know, technically she's 21, and I don't really care if he's 40 as long as it's consensual. In real life, I would have a little bit of a problem with it maybe, but it's a book, so with a book I'm happy if everyone is consensual adults, but we'll see where it takes us. I'm not even sure it's supposed to be a romance in it. I have no idea. So I will see you again soon and give you another update. I might not give you an update until I'm finished with it, or I might give you an update when I'm like 2/3 on my way through it or something like that, depending on how I feel and where I'm at. And yeah, I was hoping to give you like footage from yesterday's picnic with the game I was talking about, the Swedish game, but I didn't film any of it. So I just had fun. What you gonna do? So anyway, see you soon. Okay, so small update, just because I have something to say. I'm almost 200 pages in, and so 2/5, what's that, 40%? And I think I finally have a clear picture of the female main character, and she is not as naive as I thought she was when I last updated you. So a lot has happened to give me a clearer image of her in the last 100 pages or so. Yeah. So I just felt like I wanted to rectify that a little bit, because I feel like I talked about her quite harshly in my last update, a bit maybe unfairly, that's the word, right? I wanted to say unfairingly, but that's not right. So yeah, as you might have seen in my hyperlapse part, I do enjoy the book. It took me longer to get into it and enjoy it than other Carissa Broadbent books, but I am enjoying the relationship between the two main characters. So it's Susanna and Max, or Max and Terrius, and Max is teaching her how to use her magic. So it's like a mentor-mentee relationship, and I'm enjoying that. And some really heavy things have happened, and they are getting closer and getting to know each other, which means I get to know them. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. Hi everyone, I am here to give you my final verdict and my final thoughts on Daughter of No Worlds by Carissa Broadbent, and I'm actually gonna like put it up here because I finally found a way so I don't have to hold it up all the time. So going into it, I didn't know what to expect, and I don't really remember what I said at my last update, but I feel like I've gotten to know the characters a bit more, a lot more, and I remember saying that I wouldn't mind a romance between the two main characters if it happened. I didn't know if it was gonna happen because well, the reason I didn't mind it because the female main character is 21. The male main character, so the female main character is Tisana and the male main character is Mac. His age is a bit elusive. It's hard to get a grip on exactly how old he is, because the only thing we have to kind of get a grip on that is when he reflects on time past, and I didn't really get yeah, I didn't really follow that, but I would guess that he has to be somewhere. He can be anywhere between 25 and 35 depending on the history of him, and yeah. So there is a romance brewing between them, but it's a really slow-paced romance, and I liked it. I liked that part of the book very much, that they really got to know each other and become very close and friends before they profess any kind of love or lust for each other. So, and it's not even sure if it would have been, because there's like forces that forces them to confess to each other, you can say, or confesses for them. So it isn't really it's not up to them, and if they wouldn't have, and the romance wouldn't have developed in the way it did by the end of the book, I wouldn't have been sad. The book can stand on its own despite of that. So reading this book, there were times when I found the writing style a little bit like slow, or I had to really read sentence by sentence to understand it in a way. It became a little bit complicated, and sometimes it was a little bit repetitive. So it was like there was some places where there were like holes in the writing style, I would say. So there were a few places when it felt a bit slow, where I had to really read faster, not skim through, but to read faster, and really like, it's a way of reading that I learned when I went to university, to really retain what you read, but in a faster pace, where you just read every 3 words, but you focus on that and really take in like an image of the words. And that's what I had to do, and to like switch it up a bit, to really push forward with the reading. And then there were times where it was like the opposite, where I had to really slow down and to understand what was going on, because that was times when it happened so fast. The plot were escalating so fast that I was like, wait, what? And the description were lacking, I would say. So there was definitely things about the writing that was a bit faulty in my opinion, and which was a bit sad, because I do enjoy the writing style overall, and the choice of words, and the choice of how she builds sentences and that sort of thing. And I did enjoy that when Tisana goes from her homeland. So in the book we follow Tisana, and she is a slave, and we follow her trying to buy her freedom, and then in that process she has to instead kill her master, and that's like the first chapters of the book, and it's even in the synopsis. So when she does that, she has a goal to go to another place, to the order. So there's like an order of magic wielders that she wants help from, because when she was captive, one of the people from this order had come to visit her master, and that person had been really kind to her, and that person had also said that if you ever get to the order, you know, all the way over here, there's a place for you. And she had like hold on to the hope of that. So when she was finally free, she immediately set out to go there. And when she goes there and she gets to that place, it's such a long way that it's different languages. So she crosses some kind of like country border, and she has an accent. It's very rare from my experience, that when you read books that people, you know, are hard when they switch language. Sometimes they have a hard time learning a new language or something like that. But I really enjoyed that Carissa Broadbent gave Tisana a tangible accent, and that it impairs her vocabulary and her grammar, and that it makes it very evident when she she struggles to understand, and the implications of that. And she was a bit naive in the beginning of the book, because I did mention previously that I didn't really enjoy her personality and her naivete, and that she, like, you know, just went for things, but she didn't really know. And she had this way in the beginning of the book. She had this way of, well, I can do that, just tell me what to do and I will do it. And she kind of overestimated her own abilities, or didn't really understand what was being asked of her, or what, like, the magnitude of things. And that was because of her upbringing and her time in slavery and her lack of education. And then throughout the book, I was happy to see that she does evolve. So yeah, she does evolve, and she learns things, and Max is a really good mentor. I really enjoyed the impact that he had on her and her development throughout the book. So I think my main criticism of the book would be those times where the pacing slowed down, or went very rapid, where I really had to adjust. And it wasn't in a good way. It wasn't in like oh, snapping my attention to the book. It was the opposite. It was like, what? And there were a few instances where I had to put the book down and then get back around to it, to, you know, from another angle almost. And I previously with Carissa Broadbent books, I have wanted to just keep reading, and this time it took me a long time. It's been a week. It's the 20th of June today. It's Midsummer Eve here in Sweden, and I started this book on the 13th, so it's been a week, Friday to Friday. And I finished this yesterday. So I finished it yesterday, and I had to really sleep on it and brew on it, you know, to see where am I with this book, what do I really think about it. And I said I land on a 4-star rating for this. When I rated it on Fable, I gave it like 3.75, because I wanted it to be a bit shy of 4, but I wanted to be nice, I guess, and give it more than a 3.5, because there was something about it that I felt like I enjoyed or wanted to enjoy more than other 3.5-star reads. And I ended up this morning actually like really solidifying a 4-star read rating for this, because of the simple fact that, and it might even be higher now that I'm thinking about it. This is a book that might get higher over time, because the reason I want to give it a 4-star is because I can't get it out of my head. Ever since I finished it yesterday, I have been missing Tisana and Max and the other characters, Sam, Samarin and Moth. It's like I miss that group of friends. It feels like I have spent a week with a group of friends. I have watched them grow and learn and adapt, and I have watched them suffer. I watched them get closer, and I have become closer to them, and I have formed a bond with them that I didn't know when reading it. But now I feel that bond, and I feel like I really miss reading about Tisana. And even though I think the weakest point about this book is actually where the story is so long, the storyline is so long, and it's really set up to be a series, and I'm not sure I will go into the second book and anticipating to enjoy the storyline or the suffering that's gonna bring, but because there's so much up and down with what's happening in the story, in a way where I'm like, oh no, not again. Do they never learn? Or not do they never learn, but like, why did she do that? And so in this story, Tisana makes a blood pact that makes her bound to the order for probably the next 2 books, and I am regretful of her for her sake. And so I'm not really sure I will go into the second book anticipating to enjoy the story, but I do miss the characters, and I look forward to spending time with them again. So the characters and their bond between each other, and their friendship, and some of the other feelings, and yeah, the character building was really wonderful in this book, and the relationships are admirable and enviable. Is that a word? Samarin is Max's best friend, and I want a best friend like Samarin. And I hope to get to know him a bit more in the next book as well, because I think he's gonna continue on, and he has an apprentice, Moth, that I'm not sure we will see, because in the first book Samarin kinda had to, this is a little bit of a spoiler, so in this book Samarin kinda had to leave Moth behind because they were going into war, and Moth is just an apprentice, he couldn't come along, but he promised if he gets back he's gonna be Moth's teacher again. And I look forward to seeing where Moth goes in his training. I'm really invested in Moth. It's insane. So yeah, that's why I think this book it has a potential to grow on me over time as well, and it might grow into a new favorite. And I do really enjoy Carissa Broadbent overall, which is why I wanted to read this book. And I'm happy to say that the library has this book, this series. If it's 3 books, then the library has the entire series. If it's more than that, then I might have to wait after that to get a hold of any other books outside of those 3. But yeah, so the next book is I don't know the word's name, but I put myself on the waiting list for it immediately when I had finished it, because I hadn't really slept on it yet, and I hadn't gathered my thoughts on it, but I did have an innate feeling of wanting to know more, and I wanted to put myself on the waiting list at the library because I felt like I would probably want to read that as well. It was just so jumbled in my head right afterward because of those holes in in the writing, I would say. So I hope that I see less of those holes in the writing, and you know, because the author had a problem with keeping up with the description of the scenes when the pacing of the book needed to go faster because of you know, events happening, and I had to read a paragraph again or maybe a third time to really understand what happened in what order and how it really looked. And there were some times when I was like, oh, so it's happening outside of her, not inside of her, and okay, so that's happening inside of her but not outside of her. And there were times where I was like, where's Max? And oh, he's not there because it's inside of her. Because yeah, so I'm not gonna tell you too much more about this book, but I think if you enjoy Carissa Broadbent's writing style, because there's not a vampire in sight, I'm just gonna say that. If you've read Crowns of Nyaxia, you know what I'm talking about, but there's not a vampire in sight, but there are magic and magic wielders, and there are components to this that are very intriguing on a fantastical level. And yeah, there is one character, Rashai, that I'm not very fond of, but it is a conundrum, and I look forward to finding out his origin, or not his, its origin story a little bit more. We kinda got glimpses of it in this book, but yeah, so I think that's what I want to share for now, and I'm sure I will have absorbed everything even more when I get to my wrap up for June. So if I give it a higher rating by then, don't be surprised. So yeah, happy midsummer, happy summer solstice. I will see you in my next video, and the next time you see me talking about books I've read, it will probably be a reading update, like my usual kind of reading update for books, because of other projects that I have going on. See you in my next video, and or your next video. So I hope you enjoy your reading. I plan to. Singling.